Welcome to product definition. Here are the topics. We will begin with product strategy. Why have a product strategy? Well, the reason is in technical product, it grows very fast and we need to think about it and have a strategy because there are trends, there are alignment, there are ecosystem that we need to look at to see where we fit in the gap. And usually this is a time span of 1 to 5 years. In a product strategy, you need to create a vision, definition, and positioning. The vision is the future of the product, what problem it solves, and it has to be inspirational. The definition is the function, quality, the boundary, who are the users, and the business architecture overall. The positioning is for the target group of people that you are targeting, the customer segment. How do you communicate to that potential, your value proposition? So the goal, the problem solution, and then the value proposition. Let's look at 3 examples of company vision. Amazon, Mercado, Libra, and Sea. They are all e-commerce companies, and Amazon's one is to be Earth's most centric, customer-centric company. Let's listen to Jeff Bezos.
To me, whether we're a pure internet play, what matters to me is do we provide the best customer service? It actually has real value for the customer. Entrepreneurs go awry is they start to pay more attention to their competition than they do to their customers. Well, our mission is Earth's most customer-centric company. We want to be Earth's most customer-centric company. So we think of ourselves as a customer company. We want our brand to be known for this abstract notion of starting with the customer and working backward. Start with the customer and work backwards. Customer obsession instead of competitor obsession.
So you should feel comfortable talking about your company mission. It's not something you write and forget about. Here are some examples of mission, visions, and value. So Patagonia actually believes in some of these values and act upon it. So their mission is Earth is now our only shareholder, and the founder actually give away all the earning of the company to save the planet. Your product vision is a conceptual description of the future of the product. We sometimes call this the gliding or North Star strategy for the product. So you need to identify an image of what the future product is going to be, what value proposition it creates, and what business value it creates. So we're going to look at some examples on how to do this. To write a product vision, we need to describe the problem, the user, the solution, and the result. So what is the problem? The problem, how does it affect, and the positioning of the problem. For who are the problem going to be, and how are you going to solve it? Why do they deal with the problem? Or what is your product and how your product solves that problem? So let's take an example. The problem is the immense effort of reporting consumable, medical consumable here. So who does it affect? The nurses and clinic overall. It is very inefficient inside the operating theater to keep track of this consumable. So it will help you increase the availability of the operating theaters if you keep track of it automatically. So it's nurse, analyst, administrator. The product is called CTS, Consumable Tracking Solution. It tracks consumable in the operating theater. It avoids the current labor-intensive manual approach. It increases efficiency, operations, and delivers dimension support. So we're going to write this all together. Here is the vision. In order to significantly decrease clinic effort and increase the availability of operating theaters, the CTS reduces nurse and analyst manual work by tracking use of consumable in operation, enabling analysts and automated reporting. It enables clinics to increase efficiency of the operation work and deliver decision support for consumable planning and improvement. Quite a mouthful. So after you get all those things from the details of the slots that you're supposed to put in, you need to reduce and create a short version of it. Here it is. The consumable tracking solution, CTS, increase clinic efficiency, reduce costs by automating tracking, analyzing, and reporting the consumable in operating theater. Very quick, easy to understand.
It is very true that people learn and change their final goal. People learn and change their vision. But everything good ever created started with someone saying, hold on a second. The world is wrong about X. I will fix it. The initial thing of saying, I have to create a thing to fix a problem for me or for someone else requires you to know what you want at the end. Now, you may be wrong about that. You can change that, obviously. Like Microsoft's first product was a bootloader for BASIC. Microsoft is not a company that makes bootloaders anymore, right? That's a real thing. But Microsoft's first product wasn't, let me ship 2 lines of code and see what the third one looks like. There is a difference between beautiful things are created with a vision. It is okay for that vision to change over time.
So it's okay for a vision to change and you can expect that to change. But when you write your vision, you must have an idea what that is going to be first. So product definition. You need to have a brand that is short, unique, cool, evoke, and legally safe. Okay, so here are a bunch of brands that are listed there. Don't do something like this. Bad name. Urino, boring company. Okay, it does a lot of things, but that Tesla stuff is still not a good name. I won't even say the next one. So brands can be very valuable, and some of these brands can be worth thousands and millions and billions of dollars. So create a good brand. The logo, you can think a little bit about it also, and it can play some funny stuff. You look at FedEx, you look at Baskin Robbins with 31 flavor, you look at Amazon with that curved smile, and all the kisses with Hershey's and Toblerone and Gillette with the sharp thing, and so on. So there are a lot of things that you can play with over here. From IDP, we learn how to use fonts and colors.
Use a serif font to convey authority, professionalism, and respect. Certain brands use a script font to convey enthusiasm, creativity, and adventure. Other brands use a sans serif font to convey simplicity, minimalism, and modernity. Fonts can play a huge role.
Use blue in your marketing to build trust. Blue is the world's favorite color, and it's used by brands like these to convey security, strength, wisdom, or calmness. Use red in your marketing to create energy. See how these ads create a sense of excitement, urgency, and power? Use yellow to represent happiness.
Defining a product is an iterative approach, and there are many stakeholders involved. So you look at this, consulting the market, the stakeholders, understanding the needs, who are the buyers, how do you market this, and all those stuff. Then develop it, the customer position point of view, the user experience, and testing out all this product definition. Then the service strategy, how to cooperate with different types of selected stakeholders to do the testing, and then budgeting and pricing, and then product life cycle, road mapping, buying in, and so on. So there is a lot of steps and iteration to go through defining a product, especially in a big company. A startup, hopefully, you don't have to go through these long cycles. And in our case, we're going to skip a bunch of this. So when you're positioning a product, you need to communicate it to the right user. So you need to have a pitch. You need to be able to tell the user this is going to create value for you. So you need to sell your pen to that user. Why do you need a pen? So there's a lot of marketing here involved. You need to understand all those things. So you need to understand who are the market segment, what are the sales channels, who are the partners involved, what are the values you're going to create there. Value proposition. So what is value proposition? It is value equals to benefits minus cost. How much does it cost this person to get? Do they have to pay? And what benefit do they get out of it? So you calculate that, you get your value proposition. So first, understand who are you targeting, the customer segment. Create the value map. What value do they get out of it? And look for the match. Is there a fit in the proposition to that group of customers? This is a template for value proposition canvas. On the left side, you see the value map. You have to identify the gain creators and the pain relievers with your product. On the right side, you see the customer profile. And in the customer profile, you have to identify who the customers are, like their jobs, and what are their pains and gains. This example is for FedEx. So if you look at FedEx, some of the pains of this customer that you are targeting, who are shippers of products, want safe package shipping, hassle-free, and avoid inconveniences and hard to manage delivery. And if your product provide easy drop-off and secure tracking and relieve thousands of drop-off locations by giving thousands of drop-off locations and tracking notification, and that works for a FedEx, and that becomes a match, and you're looking for that match. In Subaru, this is another example. The users are exploring the world, wants a stylish SUV that has advanced technology and avoid all problems with weather. And if your product allows all these things, it becomes a match. So let's be specific. Look at Tesla, which provides a 5 to plus 2-seaters that has charging network and focus on designs and style with some autonomous driving. And who does it target? Upper middle class people who are making 100K or more, and these are people who are looking for high safety, high battery, and also avoid frequent charging and dead battery, and that is a match. However, if we put a Toyota hybrid on this value map, do you see a match? There are certain things that doesn't match here. They are looking for a sports car, and then this hybrid provides a comfort and space. So there are certain things that are not matched, and also they are avoiding frequent charging issues and dead batteries, which are not something that you worry about with hybrid. So a better match would be a middle class male users who are making 50 to 75K, and you can see they are the same as friends, and they convey a happy family message which has a brand recognition and safety ratings as well, and fear of something that's happening with the car, not fear of anything that's happening with the car, that kind of pain. Next, we cover product market fit. So in a product market fit, you're looking for a product that match a market that is required by the users, that are sustainable and generating profit. So we need to look at a bunch of examples here. Justin is the co-founder of Twitch, and he wants to start up a new company called Legal Service. Let's listen about his lesson from product market.
This is the story of how I lost $75 million in 36 months. My name is Justin Khan. I'm the co-founder of Twitch, and I'm making these videos to help you become more inspired and successful. So a couple of years ago, I started another company called Atrium, where we raised over $75 million in venture capital. This was for a legal services startup. And so we were trying to build legal services for startups and use technology to revolutionize the way that these services were provided to make them lower cost and more consistent. Unfortunately, we raised way too much before we achieved product market fit. In the first 2 years of the company, I raised over $75 million in venture capital because people were giving me a lot of credit for my past successes. The problem when you raise too much money is that you try to solve everything with money. We hadn't really gone through a phase where we had to figure out product market fit. And I was a really good salesperson, so I got a lot of customers in the top of the funnel, and I thought everything was working well, and all we needed to do was scale it. But the product itself wasn't really a killer app. You know, we were offering a lot of different things to a lot of different people, solving them mostly with manpower. And so there wasn't anything where we were getting real, true operational leverage. And so what happened was we hired a huge team. You know, I hired 180 people in the first 2 years of the company. And when you have a ton of money, what you want to do is solve every problem that you have with money. So when we didn't know how to market something or customers weren't signing up, we were like, okay, we need to hire a bigger sales team. If we were trying to actually figure out how to do delivery of services to customers better, we hired more people for that. We hired tons of lawyers. The problem was that the retention of the customers wasn't very good and the margin wasn't very good. And so we had a leaky bucket that cost a lot of money to run. In fact, a lot more than we were making. And that's something that's happening to a lot of Silicon Valley's companies.
So don't throw money or resources into a product yet until it's mature, until it has the product market fit. So that's the lesson learned here. So we will do this exercise of understanding your gains and pains in the product that you are trying to solve and create a vision, and this is the initial part of your proposal. So hopefully you will work on this in class and we will get an initial draft of your proposal. Here is the canvas for it. Summary.